Carl Gustav Jung, one of the most influential figures in the history of psychology, has always been deeply concerned with the inner workings of the human psyche. In his quote, "To find out what is truly individual in ourselves, profound reflection is needed, and suddenly we realize how uncommonly difficult the discovery of individuality is." Jung highlights a critical aspect of self-awareness and personal growth, the process of discovering one's true individuality. He suggests that understanding who we are at our core requires more than just surface-level introspection. It demands profound reflection and a willingness to confront the complexities of our unconscious minds. The discovery of individuality, as Jung notes, is not an easy or straightforward task, but rather a difficult and sometimes elusive process. This essay will explore the layers of meaning embedded in Jung's statement and delve into the philosophical, psychological, and existential dimensions of discovering individuality. It will examine how our sense of self is shaped by both conscious and unconscious forces, the role of social and cultural conditioning in shaping our identities, and the profound challenges one faces in uncovering the authentic self. Along the way, we will explore Jung's theories, particularly his ideas about the persona, the shadow, and the self, and how these concepts contribute to our understanding of individuality. The challenge of self-discovery. Jung's statement emphasizes the inherent difficulty of discovering what is truly individual in oneself. At first glance, one might assume that self-awareness is a relatively straightforward process, one that requires simple reflection or introspection. However, as Jung suggests, the discovery of individuality is far more complex. In fact, it is a process that involves both profound introspection and confronting the many layers of the self that have been shaped by external influences. One reason why self-discovery is so difficult is that the self is not a static, unchanging entity. It is dynamic and multifaceted, shaped by both conscious and unconscious forces. Our self-concept is formed not only through our deliberate actions and choices, but also through a multitude of unconscious drives, desires, and fears. As we reflect on our lives, we are often confronted with the reality that much of who we are has been shaped by factors outside of our control. Family dynamics, cultural norms, societal expectations, and even genetic predispositions. Jung's concept of the persona, or the mask we wear in society, further complicates the process of self-discovery. The persona is the outward identity that we present to the world, often shaped by social roles, expectations, and norms. While the persona can be useful in navigating social interactions, it can also obscure the true, authentic self. Jung believed that we often become so attached to our persona that we lose sight of our individuality, creating a false sense of self that is disconnected from our deeper, more authentic nature. The shadow, another key concept in Jungian psychology, represents the unconscious aspects of ourselves that we repress or deny. These are the parts of our psyche that we find unacceptable or shameful, and, as a result, hide from conscious awareness. In the process of self-discovery, it is essential to confront the shadow and integrate it into our conscious understanding of who we are. This process, known as shadow work, can be incredibly challenging, as it requires us to acknowledge and accept the parts of ourselves that we have long rejected. Thus, the discovery of individuality is a complex and multifaceted process that requires much more than simply looking inward. It involves confronting both the personas we wear and the shadows we hide, ultimately integrating all aspects of the self into a more holistic and authentic identity. As Jung points out, profound reflection is required to uncover the true individuality within us, and this process is far from easy. The role of the unconscious in shaping individuality. One of Jung's key contributions to psychology was his exploration of the unconscious mind and its influence on the development of the self. According to Jung, the unconscious is not just a repository of repressed memories or thoughts, as Freud proposed, but an active, creative force that shapes our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. In fact, Jung argued that the unconscious plays a central role in the formation of individuality, as it contains the archetypal images, symbols, and energies that shape our sense of self. For Jung, the unconscious is divided into two main layers: the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. The personal unconscious consists of repressed memories, forgotten experiences, and unresolved conflicts unique to the individual. These unconscious elements can shape our behaviors and attitudes in ways that are not immediately apparent to our conscious minds. When we are unaware of these unconscious influences, we may act in ways that are not authentic to our true selves, reinforcing the persona or the mask that we present to the world. The collective unconscious, on the other hand, contains universal symbols and archetypes shared by all humans across time and culture. These archetypes, such as the hero, the wise old man, the shadow, and the animus, represent fundamental aspects of the human experience and provide a deeper, more universal framework for understanding the self. Jung believed that the process of individuation, or the development of the authentic self, involves integrating these archetypes into our conscious awareness and learning to express them in healthy, meaningful ways. The unconscious, therefore, is not something to be feared or rejected. Rather, it is an essential aspect of the self that must be explored and understood. Through profound reflection and self-exploration, we can uncover the hidden aspects of our psyche that shape our individuality. However, this process is not easy, as it requires us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our deepest fears and desires. Cultural and social influences on identity. While Jung's theories emphasize the importance of the unconscious in the formation of individuality, it is also important to recognize the significant role that culture and society play in shaping our identities. From the moment we are born, we are immersed in a social context that influences how we see ourselves and how others see us. Our families, communities, and cultures provide us with norms, values, and expectations that shape our sense of identity. As we grow older, we learn to conform to these societal standards, often adopting roles and personas that are expected of us. Jung's concept of the persona highlights the tension between the individual and societal expectations. The persona is not inherently negative, as it allows us to function in society and interact with others in meaningful ways. However, when we become too attached to our persona and allow it to define us, we risk losing touch with our true selves. In this sense, the persona can become a barrier to the discovery of individuality, as it masks our authentic self behind a socially acceptable image. The pressure to conform to societal norms can also make it difficult for individuals to express their true individuality. Cultural expectations around gender, race, sexuality, and class can create rigid frameworks that limit the ways in which people can express themselves. Those who deviate from these norms may face marginalization or discrimination, further complicating the process of self-discovery. In modern society, the rise of social media has created new challenges for the discovery of individuality. Social media platforms often encourage individuals to present curated versions of themselves, leading to an increase in comparison, self-doubt, and pressure to conform to idealized standards of beauty, success, and happiness. This external pressure can further obscure the process of self-discovery, as individuals may become more focused on projecting a desirable image than on exploring their authentic selves. Thus, while cultural and social influences are unavoidable, it is essential to recognize that true individuality requires a conscious effort to navigate these external pressures. In order to discover what is truly individual within ourselves, we must learn to question the norms and expectations imposed by society and cultivate the courage to express our authentic selves, free from the constraints of external judgment. The process of individuation, integrating the conscious and unconscious. Jung's concept of individuation refers to the process through which an individual becomes their true, authentic self. Individuation is not a final destination, but a lifelong journey of integrating the various aspects of the self, both conscious and unconscious. According to Jung, the goal of individuation is to achieve a harmonious balance between the different parts of the psyche, including the ego, the persona, the shadow, and the unconscious. The process of individuation begins with self-awareness, an ability to reflect on one's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in order to recognize patterns and unconscious influences. As individuals become more aware of their inner world, they are better able to identify the personas and masks they wear in different contexts and begin to dismantle the false identities that obscure their true selves. This requires a willingness to confront the shadow, the repressed and denied aspects of the psyche that often contain valuable insights into the self. Integrating the shadow is one of the most difficult and transformative aspects of individuation. The shadow contains the parts of ourselves that we find unacceptable, such as our fears, weaknesses, and darker impulses. However, by acknowledging and embracing these aspects, we can integrate them into our conscious awareness and use them to enrich our understanding of ourselves. This process of integration allows for the emergence of a more complete and authentic sense of self. Individuation also involves connecting with the deeper, archetypal aspects of the unconscious. By recognizing and integrating the universal symbols and archetypes present in the collective unconscious, individuals can achieve a greater sense of meaning and purpose in their lives. The archetypes serve as guides on the journey toward self-realization, helping individuals to navigate the complexities of their inner worlds and express their individuality in authentic ways. Ultimately, individuation is a process of self-creation. As individuals become more in touch with their unconscious and integrate the various aspects of their psyche, they are able to define and express their true individuality. This process requires profound reflection, courage, and a willingness to confront both the light and dark aspects of the self. It is not an easy journey, but it is the path to discovering what is truly individual within us. Conclusion: the profound difficulty of self-discovery. Jung's quote serves as a powerful reminder of the complexity and difficulty of discovering our true individuality. The process of self-discovery is not a simple or linear path, but a challenging journey that requires profound reflection, self-awareness, and the courage to confront both the conscious and unconscious aspects of the self. The discovery of individuality involves integrating the personas we wear, confronting the shadows we deny, and connecting with the deeper archetypal aspects of the psyche. In today's world, where external pressures and societal expectations can obscure our true selves, the task of discovering our individuality is more difficult than ever. Yet it is only through this process of self-exploration and self-integration that we can achieve the authentic selfhood that Jung envisioned. The journey may be long and challenging, but it is ultimately the path to a deeper, more meaningful understanding of who we are and who we can become.